we're going to take a quick peek at what the heck is going on with all this weather, and here's the reason why. Remember a few months back, or was it a year ago, whenever it was, with the big floods we had over in, I think it was Carolina or something like that, North Carolina? I can't remember the actual place, but they found out then there was some deals maybe with some lithium mines, right? Then I'm seeing this thing in Texas, and we're seeing off the coast certain type of ships with devices on them that control the clouds. I'll leave it at that. And all of a sudden, we have this massive carnage. And I heard too there was some type of deal too with the local government with either natural gas or something like that because they want to have a contract of some type. Look into that. So with that being said, we're going to go to Lenormand here and kind of get an idea of like, is this legit or is this them doing it to the people? So the first line is what they want you to think, and the second line is potential reality of the mess. Here we go. So yeah, they want you to believe that it's just the luck of the draw, nature. That's the Clover, the number 2. So it's more like they're sending a message about how, yeah, just Mother Nature, the weather went crazy, even though it rose the river at rates unprecedented, doesn't matter. It was just a stroke of luck, and it just happens. And unfortunately, it happened on a weekend when a lot of people were there, and it's quite sad. Now, they want you to believe that the sun and the child, see, just weather changing erratically, the child, sun, child, weather changes erratically, goes from stability of a 4 to a 1 and a 3, 4 again of instability. And then because of the change in the climate or whatever, it then created challenges. What did the river do? It rose up and caused mass chaos, mass flooding, which would be challenges. You're 21 from the mountains. And then, of course, it would cause a lot of social stir. A lot of people would start talking about it. A lot of people looking for help and so forth. Sun and the garden is people were out celebrating, having a nice time. And then child, erratic behavior, erratic weather happens and bringing a lot of challenges and struggle on that day, which I find quite interesting. So what they want you to believe is a top line that was completely just stroke of luck, bad luck, an event of natural occurrence that came down and flooded up the river at rates that nobody's ever seen before. That's what they want you to think. Okay, what do you think? Tell me, drop me a comment below. Now, the reality of it is what? You can't make this up, folks. I'm telling you, when you ask the universe a question, be very careful on what you're going to hear because it's going to show you things you don't want to see. 23, mice, rats. It was them doing nefarious acts to make you think it was a stroke of luck, but it wasn't. Remember, this is the line of what is actually going on behind the scenes. Think of it more like conscious and subconscious, okay, when we do this. So a 23 means they made some decisions. 3, communicated to create. 5, destruction on a certain day. Mass casualties, maybe? I don't know. Just throwing things out there. They I'm not laughing at the event. I'm laughing at the cards because this is a coffin. In the first position, the sun, if you're going to merit, right? The sun, coffin, a change, a transformation, wipe out an area maybe. This is what they're doing. Why? Because they want to pick up the natural resources for themselves. That's the tree. In order to do that, they have to use the mice, the rats, right? They have to use insiders to bring the house down, to cut the tree down, to flood it out so they can then take control. Oh boy, I tell you, this is pretty scary stuff. And what's funny is the 5 and the mice, so 5, 2, 3, you have a 5, a 2, which is a 7, which is talking about they really assessed it to know when to pull the plug. 3, they communicated. 10, a cycle of destruction. Death is the coffin card, a horrible change. And then they knew that would then play on the people's hearts. And we then have the moon. It would cause some confusion, but it also would give them what they want. Because this card in Lenormand, the moon's all about bringing honors onto something. Well, if they're the ones in control, they're bringing honor to the coffin, to the change that they have in play, because they want to basically control the emotions of the people, tree and heart, and they're going to do it through deception. The rats, the mice, they're going to eat away at things little by little. Erode. What does river do? It erodes the foundation. It takes things out. That's what they've done. So from looking at the cards here, they're the ones that actually did this. And What I find interesting as well is when you pair the cards, you have a clover and a mice. I said earlier how like they want you to think it was just a stroke of luck, but really it was them, the mice, to make you think it was something that it wasn't, to basically flip the narrative. Then you have the challenge of the mountains with the heart underneath it, right? So it's going to challenge the emotions of the people because of what happened. They're trying to make you believe this it's natural, but from reading the cards here, it's not natural. It's actually them doing this. And let's just pull a few. You know, I'm gonna roll the dice here. So we have an 8, 2 4s. So they want to actually boy, the 8 engine that keeps going. What keeps going? These weather modification things. You had the fires, you have the things that happened in Hawaii, for example. You had the things down in LA. You had the terrible floods over the lithium fields. I think it was in the Carolinas. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now you have this thing here too. And I think it was over natural gas, somebody was saying. I can't remember. But again, it's all tied around resources, trees, resources. Wealth is the heart, right? They're making themselves wealthy by picking up the resource. It makes them happy, but it destroys the people. You see what I'm saying here? And the 4 double 4s is you have foundations, solid foundations, which means that the top line, it makes you think like the instability is too natural, but yet the stability is done by man-made intervention. Isn't that funny how that works sometimes? And that's your 8. It just keeps on going. Engine that keeps on going. All right. Now, with that being said, let me pull some cards from my Oracle deck. And if this is hitting you at all, you know, you need a private reading for yourself to get some clarity on some events around the world, or even for yourself, ping me. The link will be in the description below. So yeah, no, I'm definitely seeing some nefarious shenanigans going on here. This is the Hidden Clues Oracle deck. Is my deck that I created. If you would like a copy of it, links below. Go ahead and check that out. You can pick it up for yourselves. And this really was designed to get through events like this, modern events, or even relationships, whatever you want, but to kind of help you find hidden meanings and things. And so what we got going on with this card is investigate. You can't take things at face value anymore, especially with this government, because as you've known, what do? They lie continually. Everything they do is deception. Ever since 5-6 years ago, it's been deception. They try and make people believe some other narrative. So you have to really be that detective to understand what is at stake and what's at play, because the motive is always around money. Isn't this funny how the cards are coming up? What did I say earlier? It was around resources. And that was the motive to cause destruction. They want more money because nothing ever makes them happy except more, right? While you go broke. The circus. One day did it happen on? A day of festivities that turned into a circus, complete chaos. And they want you to comply with their orders. Everything is just a game to these people. Nothing is real. And the ultimate outcome is blind obedience and total compliance to their narrative. And then you have the last position here, identity theft and hacked. What are they trying to do? They're trying to push you into a digital ID as well. So I'm not talking about that right now in this reading, but it does tie in because everything you see happen right now in the world is going towards this digital way of doing things for blind obedience, and it's all around money, and it's to break the family apart. But you have to rise above that and really investigate to see what is going on. Do we want to pull any more cards? Let me think. No, I think we're good with this time. So what I want you to do is drop me some comments below, and I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you think. And to those who are impacted by this horrible event, my prayers go out to you. But again, you know, I just want to keep it real and call it for how I see it when the cards show me the answers. You know, we don't have to agree on it, but this is what the cards say. So if you're going to get mad, don't get mad at the messenger. Be pissed off the universe for allowing these people to do these horrible things to the general public. And until next time, I want to see each of you in my next readings. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.